This market review is of the F-15C Eagle, and it is by Revell, and it is a 1/48 scale model. It's going to have some interesting looking decals. Here are the dimensions and some of the details about the plane. There's a picture of the finished model and some other pictures. Looks like there's going to be a lot of detail. Okay, let's see what's inside this box here. Okay, so let's first see the screws here. Open it up. So first of all, here we have the top part of the fuselage and tail, our stabilizer. We have some raised power lines. Here's our radar, and that will sit inside this nose. There's our ejection seat, control column. Here's our instrument panel with some details on it. These are the pylons for probably fuel tanks. Molding quality is okay. It's not as crisp or clean as I would like it to be. Here's an example here. Over here we have some of our weapons, and these are fairly well molded. We have our pilot figure here with some details, but you can see there's some mold lines right there. Here's some our fuel tanks. Here's the pilot arm right there. Our nose gear, and then main gear. Here we have our wheels and tires molded on. And the pitot tubes there. Here are our exhausts. There's the example of the mold lines are flashing. There's some detail on the back of that. Here's our cockpit with some detail on the panels there. Okay, here we have another figure. He's the ground crew, and that's probably one of the wheel wells. Here we have the covering for the cockpit. It's going to have the canopy on top of that. Here's the lower fuselage, also again all raised panel lines, unfortunately. And the molding quality is not great. It's going to have a lot of pieces to sand off. This must be a very old mold. Here we have our nose section with the cockpit in it. Let's have a look on the inside. We do have some detail there, which is nice. And then we have our alternative exhaust if you want to have the afterburners open. And we have our wings, also recessed panel lines, except for the flaps and ailerons. You can see here some flashing. Here we have these probably electronic jamming pods. And here's our tail arrestor hook. And then our tails. Over here we have our glass, which is the canopy, some light covers. That's fairly well molded. And next we're going to look at our decals. It's a very large decal sheet and it's very impressive. It's very well printed. We've got some very large pieces here. They go on wings and tails. We also have all the little details here, as you can see, for parts that go on the side of the plane. Instructions for the ground crew, where to put things and so on. Very, very impressive decal sheet here. Next we'll look at our instructions. Here's some details about the plane. And we have our colors needed. And we start off here with the cockpit and the nose wheel well. That all gets put together there. And as we put together the nose part of the fuselage, that's all put in there. We've got our little gun. Then the fuselage is put together. We have our exhausts. And we have our air intakes there. The nose is mounted to the main fuselage. Our wings are then mounted. Other parts of the air intakes are put on there. Here's our main gear. Tail hook up or down, depending on what you'd like to do. Down looks nice, but it's more likely to get broken off. Here are our fuel tanks going on their pylons. And some weapons. Additional weapons there. And our nose gear cover. There's our pilot and ground crew. We've got our canopy going on. And they can be open or closed. Next we've got our air brake and tails going on, as well as the ladder that can be pulled down for the pilot to climb up. And if you want, you can have the nose open or closed so you can see the radar. And then these are the painting and decal guides here. And that's if you want to use the full decals. Lots and lots of little details here on this aircraft. It really is quite impressive, those decals. So all in all, the decals are amazing. The details in the build will be reasonable. The molding quality is not great.